Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is John, and this is the story of how we had to close our automotive custom shop. Thanks for being here. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is John. I'm a generational restoration, fabrication, custom paint, and all-around customs builder. I took over the shop from my parents about 10 years ago. Took a word-of-mouth business that was locally based and converted it into an internet-based and social media-based business. I've been working very diligently the last 5 years with the business, with the local community, and also the automotive enthusiast community. I started a attached website, forum, Facebook group, Instagram, and YouTube channel all at the same time, and got all of my car buddies together, and we started posseing up and down in the community and giving back and doing trail cleanups. I'm a Solve Oregon official event coordinator. I'm a brand ambassador for several companies. I help all the local emergency response where I can, fires, snow, recoveries, first responder response, that sort of deal. If you're new here, if you could do me a favor and push that subscribe button down there for me, and push that like button. I could really use your support on this video to try to reach as many people as I can. If I could convince you to watch the video till the end, this is a very real scenario. It's all encompassing for my family, my lifestyle, and there's a lot of automotive YouTubers and people that own shops out there, but this is what kind of can happen in the real world. So thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy, and feel free to reach out to me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Thank you.
Respond to some stuff.
Take care.
Gonna obviously come up. So we found out last week at the end of the week, Friday, that the owners of the building out there at the shop in Dallas, our lease is up at the end of this month, and they're not interested in selling the building to us or renewing the lease with us at this point. So in their eyes, they want us out of the shop in Dallas as soon as possible, which obviously is going to throw a whole new set of hiccups in my entire life. We've had a little bit more time here at the house to process this than you guys all have. So I've kind of got down to the bottom line on several things. There's no real point in arguing who, why, what, where. I don't really know why they're not interested in renewing my lease and why they want me out on the street. I kind of explained my situation to them, and we had an agreement when we moved into the building that I would be there for 3 years, and then if everything worked out, I would be able to be there for another 5 years. And so, based on our negotiations in the beginning of coming into the building, I didn't think anything of it when we came up on the time of having to get out on the lease. So here we are. I've got several cars in process. I've got like 30 people probably on the waiting list. I've been saying no to jobs, and most of you guys that have been following me for a while have been kind of seeing my growth, and also the hiccups that I've been kind of going through, the ups and the downs. And So, I got so busy with the full restorations and these big projects that I was working on that I said no to a lot of these small little jobs and a lot of these projects, and I know I'm not going to have any help, and that kind of a thing. So I just tried to focus the best I could on doing these jobs, and I've got 2 of them now that are pretty much at the end of the hard, extensive work, and we're ready to just coast through. The El Camino's being put back together as we speak, and the Camaro's just on its final last little stages. But it looks like that no matter what I do, I've gone through the lease. I've talked to the property manager about this, and it looks like as long as I'm going to be able to stay there, as long as I can drag my feet, is probably going to be the end of December. So we're the 11th of November today, so that gives me just a little more than 6 weeks to get everything out of the building and moved to wherever it is that I'm going to go. We'll talk about that here in just a second, and then what I'm going to do going forward. If you guys have been over to the shop lately, it's pretty blatantly obvious how busy and how much spread out I am with these cars, and how that consumed the space basically. And so the reality is that over the last 3 years of me being there, I've experienced some pretty good growth as far as the business is concerned, and the shop itself. I was able to put in a bunch of new tools and equipment that I didn't have before I moved in there. I assembled a couple of fleet vehicles, so now I've got a shop truck and a trailer, and some other stuff going on for the community, and a couple that were in the works already. The other part of this process is that the question that's going to come up. I'll just cut to the chase. The question that's going to come up is you're going to go home. The reality is that I can't bring my business back to my house. We've grown so much over the last few years at the new facility, with the thought that we were going to be there for another 5, that I don't have space for that stuff back here. The other part of this is I'm trying to be as transparent as I can, but the other part of this is that we lost my grandfather's house this year. My grandfather passed away in March. He lived right across the road my whole life, and that was the house that we ate all of our family dinners in. We had all of our holidays in. We had our every family get-together as our family center. And so just recently this year, I have now converted what was my shop before Dallas to a wood shop and sentimental storage area. So the reality is that I can't come back with the stuff that I have now, even if I wanted to get out and get rid of the jobs and then bring the stuff home and then kind of come home for a little bit. It took me 5 years to find this building out in Dallas. I had kind of needed the space before. This is the second time I've been in a facility that was the same size. So I needed the space for a while, and I had been looking for a while. And now I'm kind of stuck. I've exhausted. I see you, Patrick. I appreciate you. I've exhausted all of my efforts already in the last week on what I can find. I told you to bring a beverage. So I've exhausted my efforts this last week in the mix of still trying to keep the cars going, on seeing what's available for shops in the local area. There's a couple aspects here. One, it's just super hard to find an industrial commercial building nowadays. Most everything's been converted to retail or personal. People have bought in it and they do like marijuana grows in it or some crap like that. You know what I mean? You're not going to find a shop anywhere. If I could afford to jump into say 6,000 to 10,000 square feet, there's some warehouse buildings that are out there and available, but I can't. I just jumped here this last month to 125 an hour, and I can't go backwards at this point. Is what that basically would be being. I don't have any help to help support an extra overhead, and so if I pick up any extra overhead, I'm basically just paying it out of my pocket and starving my family over the deal. So The other scenario is that I have to, because of what I do now. I don't just do, body and paint jobs anymore. The stuff that's on my list for you guys, and it's the coolest stuff. They're extensive projects that need to be taken apart in pieces and parts, and then having gone through with an inspection, kind of a comb, and I got to be able to work on 2 or 3 of them at a time to be able to keep everything going. And so I got to be in a certain square footage, and so I got to be in this window between big enough to be able to fit the business, but not so big that I can't afford to get into it right now. The other part of it is that it looks good on paper and easy to say, but we still have to talk about the physical part of moving the shop in 6 weeks. Most of that stuff was put in there with a forklift, and there's a lot of dead cars over there. I've got clients across the country. It's going to be hard pressed to get in there. I got cars that are in really bad shape. I can't even open the door for too long, or they're going to rust. I got cars in bare metal and stuff like that. So it's rough all the way down the list. I wish I had an answer as to why, but the reality is they're not really giving me one, and so I just got to do what I got to do at this point. To get on to the next step, whatever that next step is. I've been trying not to dwell in it, and just try to figure out what it is that I can actually do and what I can't do. So you guys that are, there's kind of a mixed bag between clients, pure followers, family, and friends that are here following me and that are going to watch this or are watching it. So I'm just going to do my best to kind of touch all the aspects here and let you guys all know at the same time. Like, I got no wool to pull. It is what it is. I can sleep well at night knowing that I don't think that there's anything else that I could have done better, or that I necessarily did wrong. There's some things that I'll own. I could have set myself up and put myself in a better position, but that's neither here nor there. For right now, my focus and my goal is to get everything out of the shop. I'm going to work, I think, as hard as I can, as much as I can on the vehicles that are in the shop right now, to take those as far as I can for the month of November. That'll give me 2.5, 3 weeks to work on the 2 or 3 cars that I got in there. I got some help on a couple of aspects of them, so that'll alleviate some of the pressure of it. And I'm really close on one of them, regardless of everything going on. I was already really close on it anyway, the Camaro, so I feel okay about that if I got another 3 weeks. And then if I just draw the line in the sand, December 1, and I say that whole month is just going to be getting stuff out and figuring out a place to put it. My goal, having that said, my goal is to get out of there as quick as I can. I'm paid right now through the end of December. So if I can get out of there by the end of December, that meets my legalities for the lease. That also meets my financial requirements and basically gives everybody an opportunity to walk out on a handshake deal with a clean slate, regardless of how bad of it tastes. Obviously, it's going to leave in all of our mouths at this point, mine too, yours too. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to try and get it all in, and I need to do it as quick as I can, like I said, so I don't spend any more money than I have to already. And then the other aspect of it is that because of the space situation, I'm looking at having to liquidate assets. So I'm trying to, with as much in my power, not make hasty decisions and do something that I'm going to regret in the long run. But also at the same time, the reality is that I'm going to have to go through a lot of stuff and get it all moved. There's going to be a lot of forced sale posts. I'm having to have a lot of hard talks internally with each of my family members on what we're going to keep and what we can let go of. And then hopefully what my green grass and blue sky is right now is that obviously I'm not letting go of Ride Revival, the brand. I'm not letting go of, what I do as a whole. This is, I've said it many times, this is a lifestyle. This isn't just one thing that I do. Working on cars obviously was the bread and butter, and what I did for a living, but that's not all I did, and that's why you hear Ride Revival and Outdoor Adventures. It's all encompassing. So I'll keep that brand, I'll keep that name, whether the the LLC stays in place or whether we do something else. That's to be determined at this point. My main goal is to try to do everybody as good as I can on my end of it, to the customer, to the client, to the car owners, to the people that I've been working with over the last 3 years. I just want to do as best that I can do to come as close to being a man of my word on these projects and not totally leave you guys screwed on your position. I don't want to just call you and just push everything out and be like it's all my problem, because it is my problem. And so I'm going to do everything I can for you, but at the same time, like, it is what it is, and I can only do what I can do. Like I said, I'm going to work through November, and then probably around December 1 is when I'll be ready to move. Right now, I don't know what's going where and when it's going to go and that kind of a thing. By this point, by the time that I'm talking about December 1 and I stop working, I will have a plan for all of that, and I will probably have gone through and hopefully sold everything that is going to get sold, and then we'll be just down to a pile of scrap that we're going to throw and trash that we're going to throw, and then we'll move the cars, and I will definitely be reaching out at that point. I've already had several friends that, there's a few clients and customers and close friends and family that kind of know what's been going on in the background. I've already had several offers for help and offers for, various things. Obviously, you guys, some of you understand it's going to be very overwhelming this weekend with me putting this out there in the public. I've made that public commitment to you guys, and I want to continue that. But also, to be honest with you, I'm at the point where, if I've never been good at asking for help, this is one of the times in my life where I got no choice. Like, I got no option. I have no answer and no direction at this point. So I'm just doing the best I can to keep a hold of what I've, basically worked for my whole life, and my family's sentimental stuff that we've inherited, and not try to have to just wipe the entire slate clean here and run for the hills. But that's kind of the dire, desperate situation that I've kind of been put in, or put myself in, or whatever. It is what it is. That's where we are. So, like, if you guys got any ideas, if you know some space, it's bare minimum we're talking like 1,500 square feet, and that would probably only let me do 2 cars at a time, and it needs to have some outside storage. There's a couple of buildings around here. I know that Brian, I'll touch on you real quick. The Rogers Automotive, it is open down there. It's 1,200 square feet. It's only 200 square feet bigger than the shop out back. Like, I'd only be able to do 1 car at a time, and with my hourly rate the way it is, that one customer that was in my shop getting hit, I'd be working on that car full time, so they'd be looking at getting 10 grand, 12 grand worth of bills every month. The car get done fast, but there's no client that I have that's ready to support that. So it's got to be 1,500 square foot. I'm in 2,300 square foot, and 300 of it is an office. So I have 2,000 working space, 2,000 square foot of working space, with a bunch of outside storage for the cars that I got. So that's what it is. I've called on a few places. I've talked to a few different realtors, and everybody tells me the same story. Everything's full. Everything's been signed on. There's an aspect here that I'll try to be as transparent as possible about, that is going to come up. You guys are smart enough to read between the lines, and like I said, I'm not going to hide anything from you. I kind of got put in a bad position by the person I trusted with my bookkeeping and my taxes. There was a miscommunication between the two of us, and what I needed done and what I thought was going to get done didn't get done, and wasn't what she didn't think that's what I was asking for. And so here we are, where I really need the documentation to support me getting into a new building. And the reality is that I'm in a real bad caught with my pants down moment. My wife, as the office manager, was right in the middle of hiring a new bookkeeper and a new person to go back and fix all of our taxes and stuff like that. So I short of a handshake deal, somebody being able to do an old school deal, which doesn't happen on commercial, I'm really, for lack of a better term, up shit creek without a paddle here. So I've already kind of sat down with my family. We've got a plan on our personal vehicles. I know if you guys know me personally, you know kind of how many irons I got in the fire. So we've got a plan for most of that stuff. You're going to see some cars get listed for sale. Right off the bat, we know the red Manchi is going to get sold. I've been trying to sell it, but honestly, if you've been interested in looking at it, or maybe thinking that you're just out of your price range, I don't know. Now, give me a call. Today might be your lucky day. That truck's got to go. It's got to go. I got a couple other vehicles you're going to see listed, and then I got a couple of that I got to have a real strong talks with my father on. Other than that, I think we'll be able to save most of our project vehicles and our sentimental vehicles and our drivers, and we'll be in okay shape as far as parking is concerned. I am going to fill up the rest of the nooks and crannies in space with shop equipment and tools and my new toolbox and that kind of a thing, and just try to get it all in here so that way I can kind of pull the plug / push the reset button come January 1, 2023. It's gonna be a whole new look to Ride Revival. We're a strong enough community here, and a diverse enough community and business that we're still gonna be around. We're just gonna have to figure out what the next step is. My services are in high demand, higher than they've ever been. I've been able to work for clients that are willing to build and able to build different stuff than I've stuff that I sought out to build a lot of years ago. You always look as a builder, I don't care what you do, you look at the other guy and you're like, man, can I do that? Am I capable of it? And I answered that question, and I am, and then I built the clientele to support it. And so it's really hard for me to walk away from that, one. But two, like I kind of briefly touched on, like I feel each and every single one of the stories. Like I got some people that, one of my clients is in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska right now, and his car's in storage, and I've got his material on some of his car parts, and it just goes down the list on Dr. Bruss's car, the El Camino. I got a guy in Idaho, the first thing he said was like, I don't know if I can get a trailer across the pass to get it in that time frame. Like, it's winter. Like, I know, I try to tell him, still, so that's really what I can do there. Yeah, I guess I'll read through some of these comments real quick and see if there's any questions that I can answer. I'll chill here for a little bit, and like I said, this has always been an open forum. I try to put a smiling face on and do it right, and I don't know, man, but this is just real, and there's no hiding, there's no faking. Like, you hear these stories all the time. Hang on, sorry. The crazy thing about this is me and my wife are always trying to be realists, what we call realists, whatever. When you're a small business entrepreneur, like, you always hear these stories, like, how big business gets done like this, and the little guy always gets squished on, and that kind of a thing. And it's like, man, until you go through it, like, we just kind of looked at each other and was just like, is this really how it is? I go, oh, this is what it feels like. This is what they say. Like, yeah, it really is. It really is. Not outside of my control. So, all right, here we go. Comments. I got my notepad. Let's see if I can get this done here. I appreciate you guys so much. This is, thank you for watching me and listening to my banter and supporting my business up to this point. And what a wild ride. My house is paid off and my grandpa's dead now, so there ain't a lot keeping me right here. I can get rid of this place and go somewhere else and buy a shop and start over and still keep Ride Revival. I don't want to bounce out of my local community, but you guys are smart. You guys are thinking where I'm thinking. So Rocket Auto, yeah, we talked about Rocket Auto. I wish it was big enough, or honestly, like, if Homeboy Detailer wasn't in Rocket Auto, it might work, and it would probably be a pretty cool location. But just 1,200 square feet, man. And I don't know, City of Monmouth wants me spraying paint on the main street of town. Yeah, I appreciate you, Steven. You've been, I don't know, I can't put it to words, dude. I've had some rough cars that I've worked on, and I don't know, things have turned south real quick on cars that have been, for me, easier to get to fruition and easier to completion. And your car was a man, you know. You stuck with it, I stuck with it, and that's just a testament to who you are as a man. So I thank you for that, truly. Well, I think that about covers it. Like I said, I'll be posting and I'll be reaching out. You guys are more than welcome to send me some messages. Give me a call if you want to. I know it's going to kind of be a wild weekend, and I don't really have anything going on in the community aside from I'm going to try and prep some of my house and have some of those strong conversations with my family and try to move forward in preparation. You guys can reach out. You know where I live. I've always had an open door policy. You guys come by and hang out if you want to or whatever. I'm going to be a little bit basket crazy. I'm not going to let go of, there might be a few of you guys wondering about Trophy Challenge. I just wanted to say that right now at this point, I'm not going to let go of it. Yeah, I'm not going to let go of it at this point. I know what it means to the community. I know what it means to me personally, Gary, how much everybody puts into that event. And if you don't know, you ought to come out and find out. Because honestly, it's one of those events that I'm not good about rah cheerleading about. But you call yourself a four-wheel drive enthusiast and you think you're the shit and you think you're badass, your Jeep's badass and you're the shit. Bring that sucker on out here. I'll make you think twice. I guarantee you. So that's what I'm gonna say about that. I'm not letting go of it. I'll do everything I can. I'm just gonna be batshit fucking crazy until probably January-ish, New Year. Happy New Year, and you'll get my brain back. Yeah. See you in May. Yeah, so I got the shop trailer, I got the truck, I got some pickups. I had a few people reach out to me, so I'm making lists of stuff. And between now and the end of November, I'm gonna try and knock out some stuff on these cars. And so for you clients that are watching, I'm really trying to do everything that I can for you too, at the same time as I'm having to do everything I can. So then come December, hopefully I'll have kind of everything listed out and put together, and then I'll reach out and let you guys know via video, and we'll just kind of go from there. Last kind of idea and thing that I've been thinking for those of you that are here, if you want to kind of start talking amongst yourself, is I think that we might do a last day of the shop car show, burn off competition, two-step, I don't know, have some fun for the last day of the shop because I own it and it's fully insured and I do what I want. Know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'll let you stimmer on that, and I'm still trying to be optimistic, but we're wrecked. So if you guys think of anything, like I said, feel free to get a hold of me. I appreciate each and every one of you. This has been a wild ride. It ain't over, but things are changing. It's not without you guys. I had a word of mouth business for 20 years, and I've been doing this for 5, and now I'm sitting here talking to you guys all in your living room. So thank you. I'm gonna get out of your face, let you guys process it. You want to reach out, I appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Much love. Fucking sucks.